everybody. Welcome to Culinary Medicine this morning. I am Chef Colleen.
I am Chef Lexi.
And we are hosting our Culinary Medicine program today. And we've got a few friends and chefs joining us. We have Chef Elizabeth, Chef Maria, Chef Elena, Chef Lucas, Chef Wendy, Chef Carson, and if I missed anyone, I apologize. So a little bit about our program for today. There is a bit of a delay on the TV. So we are live from our teen lounge here on the pediatric unit, and you all are watching from your rooms, and there is about a 20-second delay. So if we asked you guys to call in and to, participate by telling us some of your, favorite fruits or recipes, there might be a little bit of a delay on the phone, but just wanted to let you know. And this is Lexi's first time actually hosting Culinary Medicine.
I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, I am so excited to have you here too. So a little bit about Culinary Medicine. It is the art of mixing food, diet, and medicine, and food to help keep you healthy throughout the entire year. So I know maybe a couple of you who are here today are here because you're sick with a virus or some sort of bug that's making it hard to breathe or just making you feel ucky. So the recipes that we do here on Culinary Medicine use some superfoods to help make our bodies nice and strong so we don't get sick as much. So today's recipe is chocolate Greek yogurt fruit dip. Lexi, how do you feel about chocolate?
Oh, love it.
How do you feel about fruit?
Love it even more.
Great. So we're going to combine those two things together and make a really fun and healthy recipe. So someone from Child Life should have come around and given you a recipe card, as well as all of the ingredients and utensils to utilize for our recipe today. So you should have a container of Greek yogurt. You should have some packets of honey. You should have some cocoa powder, some vanilla, and some cinnamon. So before we get started, Lexi, do you know how many fruits and vegetables you are supposed to have in a day?
I do not know. Please tell me.
The rule is you should be having 5 colorful servings of fruits and vegetables a day.
Oh.
And a serving, people might wonder, how big is a serving? What I learned from our nutritionist is it's dependent on how old you are and how big you are. And it's kind of like the size of your fist or what you can fit in your hand. So for someone who might be 3, 4, or 5, their servings are going to be smaller than my big old hand and Lexi's hand. And do you know why we might want to get a whole range of colors?
I do not.
Well, let me tell you. Each color has kind of a different superpower. So berries that are red and blue have antioxidants. Have you heard that word before?
I've heard that word before.
Do you know what it means?
Ooh, I'm afraid I do not.
Well, I don't have like the dictionary definition, but pretty much antioxidants are really good to help fight off germs in your body, so you don't get sick as often. Orange fruit and vegetables like oranges or carrots, orange peppers, mangoes, those all have like vitamin C, and vitamin C also keeps you healthy throughout the year, but more specifically during like the winter months like we're in now, where there's a lot of like flu and RSV going around. Green foods like spinach and broccoli, green apples, what are some other fruits? Kiwi. All of those also have really good nutrients to help keep your body healthy. And what we learned today actually from one of our doctors is that when kids need help keeping their stomachs really healthy, doctors like to have kids take something called probiotics. And Greek yogurt has a lot of probiotics, which is going to help your tummy health. So today's recipe has a whole bunch of stuff that's going to keep your body healthy throughout the winter season. So are you ready to get started?
I'm ready.
Great. So I'm going to have Lexi kind of physically do the recipe while I talk through it. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is get a half a cup of the plain Greek yogurt. So Lexi's got the Greek yogurt, and then you all should have either blue measuring, no, not blue, these are red measuring cups or colorful measuring cups. So we've got half a cup for Miss Lexi. I do too. They're nice and colorful. Lexi, what is your favorite fruit to eat?
My favorite fruit is watermelon.
Watermelon.
But it's harder to find in the wintertime.
This is true.
So I've been eating a lot of green grapes recently.
Ooh, green grapes. What do you think is something super healthy about watermelon and grapes?
Watermelon, it hydrates you. There's a lot of water in watermelon. And then green grapes.
I think kind of does the same thing. I think they're very water-based. Watermelon for sure. And recently we've had a lot of kids that come into the hospital because of throwing up, which is not so fun. And that can cause us to become dehydrated, which means there's not enough water in our body, and that makes us feel sick or make us feel tired. So having fruits like watermelon is very hydrating, which is really good and healthy for our bodies. My son also really loves watermelon.
It's the best.
It is. And he can go through like slices upon slices. And he's only 3, but he can put them down. All right, so everyone should have put their Greek yogurt into the bowl that was also provided for you. And then next we are going to take 1.5 tablespoons of honey. So the tablespoon is this big old spoon right here. And you're going to do 1 and then 1/2 of 1. And the honey we have are in packets. You might have some honey at home in a container that looks like a little bear.
Might need to fly in some reinforcements. You hold the spoon. So
Oh, sure. There we go. See, teamwork.
Teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work when it comes to cooking.
Truly.
And what's nice about this recipe is that it doesn't have to be exact. If you want it to be a little sweeter, you can put in more honey. If you want it to be a little bit more chocolatey, you can put a little bit more cocoa powder. It looks like we might just have enough, and that's okay, for 1 tablespoon of honey. But like I said, you can always make it sweeter if you choose to do this recipe at home.
All right.
The next is you're going to use your cocoa powder. So there's little containers, and you might be confused as to which is which, but the cocoa powder is like this lighter brown. And the cocoa powder is 1 tablespoon. I'm going to hold it. And again, if it goes over, under, it's not the end of the world. It's your recipe. You can make it however you want. That's the fun thing about cooking.
Perfect.
Lexi just dumped it all in. She didn't even bother. She's like, you know what? We're just going to do it. And then next, we are going to use our vanilla. So our vanilla is a really tiny amount, actually. It's 1/4 of a teaspoon.
You're going to dump it in my spoon for me?
I'm going to dump it in her spoon.
Oh, perfect.
Just the exact amount. All right. And then we are going to do a generous pinch of cinnamon. So cinnamon is the last container. It looks like there's a lot of cinnamon in there. So what you guys can do is take a little pinch with your fingers. I forgot to mention, I always recommend washing your hands before you're cooking. We did gel our hands before we got on the air, so I apologize you did not see that. But yeah, it's really important that you wash your hands before cooking.
Okay, cinnamon is in.
Great. And then the fun part is doing the mixing. So now we're just gonna mix.
What kinds of fruits do we have for our dip column?
Oh, we have very delicious fruit. We've got, everyone should have a cup of fruit. We got strawberries, we got apples, and blueberries.
Yum.
The blueberries might be sitting at the bottom. And most of you are probably having like some pretty big strawberries in your containers. The kitchen really hooked us up with some big strawberries. So you just mix it.
All right.
And then it's ready. It looks beautiful. Look at that, guys. Lexi, you did a great job.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So I said that was the most fun part. I'm lying. I think the most fun part is being able to test it.
Sure.
So, Lexi, would you like to take one of our fruits and dip it in and see what you think?
Strawberry off the top.
You're going to take a strawberry?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to take an apple. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Good? Okay.
Let us know what you think.
Mmm. That's really good.
That's yummy.
It's very yummy. The apples, my friends, they were sitting in lemon juice. So I don't know if you guys ever experienced this before, but when you cut up apples, when the air gets to them, it starts to turn them brown. And we didn't want to give you guys brown apples. So did you know putting them in lemon juice stops them from turning brown? So the apples might be a little tart, but they also gave us green apples, and typically green apples have less sugar than red apples, so they tend to be a little bit tartar. But I think it's a perfect little match with the chocolate dip that we have.
It is yummy. I'll use the other end. Don't double dip in your dip.
No. I use the other end of my chocolate, of my apple. I think this was perfect because it's almost lunchtime. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you don't want to eat a super filling snack before a big meal. So I think this is a perfect one. For any of our friends who are in school or who are in daycare, this recipe would be a good after-school snack because we don't want to fill up on a lot of foods that are going to make us feel full, and that means that we can't have dinner with our family. So you want to have a snack that's got some protein, which is what Greek yogurt has. And so that'll keep you filled without making you feel super full for dinner time. That tends to happen in my house sometimes. They fill up on the chips and the pretzels, and then they don't want to eat their dinners. But yeah, we hope that all of our friends who got to watch and participate in cooking enjoyed themselves. Yeah. I enjoyed myself.
I did as well.
Great. So thank you all for participating. We will be coming around after the show to pick up the utensils, but the dip and the fruit is all for you. So thanks for joining us. Hope everyone has a great day, and we'll see you later. Bye. Bye.